Alright, so just a couple of things. I got the hoses off, mouthpieces are off. Those of you guys that aren't aware, on these regulators, your serial number is underneath the mouthpiece. It's usually right on the air inlet tube, or the piece where your mouthpiece would attach to. So that's the primary. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Yeah, you should be able to see that there. And then on our first stage, we have our serial number on the body, and then a couple of things to go off of. This is our high pressure port plug, or high pressure port. You can see that because it's stamped into the body, HP. But then on this side, we also have a gigantic size opening. So this is a 1/2 inch opening. On the older style regulators, they would do this for your primary, and then this is for, you know, your LP inflator hose or your Octo. Some manufacturers did 1/2 inch ports for all of their LP stuff, and then they kind of got away from it and went with a more standard 3/8 opening. So any of the regulators that are kind of older have a really nice 1/2 inch opening, and you can kind of see right into the regulator. That gives you an idea of the airspace that's in there. I can see the transfer pin, as well as the pin pad inside the first stage. Hopefully you guys can see that on the video. And Decor was one of the regulators that would have 1/2 inch ports, and they would use an adapter to adapt down to a 3/8 hose. Mara's had their primary, their DFC port, and then I want to say, who else? I think Apex at one point on their primary had a 1/2 inch LP port as well. I'm not sure if they're still doing that, and I just had my XTX 100 out here. That's what happens when you're around this stuff a lot. You kind of just lose your track of who's doing what these days. So anyway, Conshelf, this is a workhorse of a first stage. This turned into eventually what became the Titan, and I'm not even sure what they're doing for you know, the Titan these days. I know that they changed that design probably back around like 2010 or 2012, something like that. But the one thing, my own personal pet peeve with these chrome over brass regulators, this chrome picks up everything, man. Fingerprints all the time. So after I get done servicing it, I have to spend like a good 5 minutes with a cloth just to take all my fingerprints off everything. Because as soon as you touch this thing, man, it leaves anything that's on your fingers easily transfers onto the surface. So even if your hands are you think are clean, pick up a chrome over brass regulator and see. You'll leave prints all over these things, no worries whatsoever. That's why I like the satin finish on regulators. Specifically, the XTX 100 has that nice satin finish on it. It's a great regulator, plus you don't leave your fingerprints all over everything when you're touching it. So, all right, man, we're going to break this down, break it down into its itty-bitty pieces, and do another video.